Welcome to Mornings with the Mayor. As always, I always say this, we have a special guest, and today we really do have a special guest on our show. A gentleman that lives right by us in Langhorne, right on the border, Tom Mellon. Tom, welcome to the show.
Always a pleasure to be here with you, Joe.
We have a lot to talk about. Tom is a very interesting personality. Tom does so much for charity. He does a lot for EMS, police, fire, and veterans. So we want to talk a little bit about that. And I know I met you many years ago when you were working in Atlantic City.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and since then you have done many, many things. You were a police officer. Give us a little background about that, where you started being a police officer.
Certainly, I'd be happy to, Joe. Well, as we spoke often, many times, I'm a retired police officer from the Philadelphia area. And I worked the streets of North Philadelphia for many of my 12 years active that I was there until I was injured, as I indicated to you. And it's a family tradition more than anything, Mayor, as you know. My father being a retired detective, my grandfather, battalion chief in the city's fire department, and many cousins. My brother is still active on the Philadelphia Police Department. So I find that when I look around, there's a lot of that traditional link with generations within a family. That the grandfather, the father.
Is that what gave you so much your interest? Because you're really involved in all of those areas, and most of it's all to give help to people.
Indeed.
that need that are in these services, and the veterans. We always
Indeed.
go back, because I know you do a lot with veterans.
Yes.
And the interesting thing about you is Tom Toyota, they call you?
Tommy Toyota.
Tommy Toyota.
Yes.
And Tom works for the Toyota dealer, and that's in, I guess, Langhorne.
Yes, it is, Mayor, yes.
And they did a story on him in here on the Toyota program, and you talk all about those things that you just talked about. But the interesting thing is that your wife told you that you should go be a car salesman.
She did.
And that from that, you actually build a business plan of how you're going to be a car salesman. Tell us about that.
That's very true. That's very true. One day my wife said to me, you know, you're very personable. You like to get out and talk to the public and to people, and you have an affinity for that type of environment. I said, well, what do you think? And she said to me, well, what about car sales? Everyone needs a car. There's a need for transportation for everyone. I said, are you kidding me? Car sales? And here I am today in my 5th year in the vehicle industry and working up here in Langhorne.
Yeah, but you had a different approach to it. You had a business. You were going to kind of interview them instead of them interviewing you, even though they were interviewing you, actually.
Yes.
But you were going to pick the right place that you were going to sell cars.
Yes, and as you know, obviously I thought of a terrific business plan because of my background being a police officer, many veterans in my family. And I thought, let me put a program together that would be significant, that would be something different, cutting edge in the car industry. And I did go out.
This is the interesting part. I want you to tell us now what you do when you're selling cars and some of the great charities that you help.
Absolutely. What I've discovered and the plan that I put together, after putting it together, I discovered there was an interest with a dealership. And I did interview a lot of dealerships. I wanted to make sure, Joe, that I was going to be representing a product that was very good and strong, good family ties with the ownership of a dealership. And I found that in Paul Muller, who is a retired veteran from the Vietnam era. And I brought my plan to Paul. He looked at it and embraced it. And he said, you go ahead and put this together. You have my full support. And the program is all about helping our police officers, firefighters, active military veterans, EMTs, paramedics, correctional officers. It encompasses a broad spectrum of our public servants. And what it provides is that each and every time that someone purchases a vehicle at our dealership at Team Toyota, that there's a $50 donation that goes to a specific charity. If it would it be if it was a veteran, it would go to a veterans charity.
Not just the ones you sell.
Not the ones that I sell, but any other police officer, anyone that comes into our dealership
gets the charity goes from anybody that sells a car.
That's correct.
Wow.
and we've administered and distributed many checks. John McNesby, for example, my good friend, who's the president of FOP Lodge 5 and represents more than 30,000 police officers, both active and retired. We just recently presented a $5,000 check.
Wow.
And it certainly helps. It helps with educational needs, not just, but also people that are in need with disabilities, any way, shape, or form that I can find the resources to help. That's what this program is all about.
Yeah, and I Tom, I think you get the message out there. You have a radio show.
Yes, I do.
Twice a month.
Yes.
I think it's the first and third Wednesday.
First and third Wednesday of every month.
And you do that you move it to different
I move it
towns.
around.
Talk about that, because
Yes.
I happen to be lucky enough to be on one of your shows here in Bensalem.
And we were honored to have you on, and hopefully we'll be bringing you back in from time to time.
I love it. I like what you represent and how you're trying to get these things done.
Thank you, Mayor. And it's important. I think I find it incumbent upon myself as a citizen of this proud, beautiful country that we live in, the United States of America, that there isn't enough for me to do on a daily basis to reach out to the community and make them aware, and that's what our radio show is all about, increase the awareness to all of our citizens as to what and I think it's unintentional often, but just to increase the awareness of how courageous the efforts are for our police, our fire, all of our emergency services, paramedics, and our correctional officers, our active military, and our veterans. I think it's very important that we realize what they're doing day in and day out. I woke up this morning, and I felt very secure in my home.
Oh.
Often, if you have intruders, the first person that a citizen will do, first person that they're going to contact is reach out for a police officer.
Tom, I've been here for 20 years at the job that I do here, and by the way, it's an honor to serve my community. Always saying the most important thing I have to do is the safety and welfare of the people in this community.
Amen.
And I will not, and I've been criticized for it, and I think I even said it on your show.
You did.
That I will put every effort to make sure that our men and women have the best equipment, to make sure we have enough people serving to protect this community. And it's not an easy task. In Bensalem, we are geographically location.
Yes.
There's a lot that goes through this town every day, and we're going to make sure, in my instance here with our people, that we don't cut any corners on that. The safety, you can't cut corners on.
No question about it. I'm incredibly impressed with the accomplishments within Bensalem Township, and we spoke about that on the radio show.
Great team.
With Mr. Topley and with Fred Haran.
Fred Haran, Director of Public Safety.
The emergency services program you have here in Bensalem, I salute. It's the best in the county, saving more lives with the technology, the training, the education that they receive.
So
and
important.
As the administrator, you make sure of that.
Well, that's our
money's
job.
there.
That's what we had to provide. But these men and women put their lives on the line every day. No matter what you talk about, volunteer fire companies, we have a paid daytime fire here,
Yes.
our police, our EMS, just everybody, and it's a team effort.
It is.
Strive to tell that all the time. We must work as a team.
Teamwork.
To be successful.
Absolutely. As you surround yourself around very competent, professional individuals, I do the same thing with my radio staff. For example, Dan Fraley, who's the Director of Veteran Affairs. We're in constant touch with one another and communicate. So the more I learn from our officials, from our veterans, the more I can reach out through my radio show, and that's the purpose of it, Mayor, as I indicated, to infiltrate every community and find out what's going on, the bloodline, put my finger on the pulse of the community. And find out
And
what
it's
the
good
needs
for us
are.
to hear that too, because
Yes.
we know what's going on in other communities. You know, we don't know everything.
No.
We have to reach out and see what other people are doing. They're doing something different and better. Well, we have to
Absolutely.
emulate that. And
Absolutely.
I'm proud to do that. I mean, and I hope they're looking at it the same way. And that's how teams work. You know,
Yes.
you make sure you have everybody gelling and going for the same reasons, safety.
Absolutely. I like to perceive my radio program and the initiative that I will continue to do until my last breath. It's an ancillary of the administrators, as yourself, what you've already put together. The services, the programs for our veterans, our active military, as well as our police and fire, they're there, they're in place. But what I want to do is I'm a branch. I like to see myself as a branch to support everything that's in place. But as you know, often there's people that just aren't aware of the services that are there. Information.
We have a Veterans Advisory Board here that we're trying to, our board get more information to give to more veterans. So there's a lot of, it's unbelievable how much some veterans don't realize what they're entitled to.
Yes.
And we have to be able to help them. I mean, it's unbelievable. I had a cousin that was 80 years old that never bothered. He was a veteran, Second World War, never bothered to do anything. And when he became 80, his daughter came and said, my dad really needs help. He can't do anything.
Sure.
So we're able through teams to get him some relief. He died a year later.
Oh, God bless him.
But that's the case there. He should have been entitled to those things
absolutely
many years ago. But that's that's what we're trying to do
yes.
on a local level.
Yeah, well, there's a full infrastructure of uniformly too as well, very effective, of services for not only claims for veterans and active military in Bensalem here, over 60,000 residents, but also your health services, your transportation. Transportation, incidentally, from what I understand, we're the one county, it might be the only county in Pennsylvania that has a free transportation system.
And that was started as the only place. I don't know if anybody has taken up on there and done it as we have in
exactly.
Bucks County, but it's a key.
It is key. More than 10,000 veterans have been helped, and more than 250,000 miles transporting our veterans, a free service that we provide. And of course, the Department of the Veterans Administration, they have the same type of or a similar type of transportation service, but they depend on volunteers. Where here in Bucks County, we have paid drivers, so that what happens, although unintentional, with volunteers, sometimes they may not be there. Where we always have someone to transport to Coatesville and some other areas in the county here, to our veterans hospitals to take.
Tell me what you're looking at ahead now. I mean, you've got to have a plan.
I do. I do, Mayor.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you'll share it with us.
I'll be happy to, because you'll be working with me.
Okay.
The program that I have through my radio show is terrific. I've surrounded myself with very competent professionals, with the police chiefs and all the police officers, firefighters, of course, Dan Fraley, who's involved, Joe Safran, a good friend of ours.
Yeah, Joe
who's just made enormous strides,
on that,
measurable strides.
On getting discounts in all the stores.
With all the
I had Joe on this show. We actually tried to promote that here, and it goes on a continuous basis.
It does. More than 1,200 and counting businesses in the county of Bucks that are providing discounts from 5 to 25. I'm sometimes hearing as much as 40 or 50% on products that our veterans and our active military have a need for. So my plan is to continue to work with Joe Safran, yourself, and I also have another program that I'm putting together. It's going to be called Through the Eyes of a Veteran. How terrific is that? And Mayor, as you and I spoke just last week, the attrition rate for our World War II veterans, 1,000 a day that are passing.
Wow.
I'm working feverishly to get some of the stories of our veterans from World War II. I'm beginning with them and through their eyes. And when I look through their eyes, I'm looking at a 17, 18-year-old. They're still full of vim and vigor. And it raises the hair on my back.
Yeah, but see, it takes somebody like you to do that. A lot of veterans don't like to talk about it.
They don't.
And to me, it does discourage me, because we want to hear those stories.
Absolutely, it's so important.
And our young people need to know why they're here and have the freedoms they have.
It's so
important. Because of those men and women. So I'm looking forward to seeing you get that accomplished.
It's going to be a terrific program. I already have a few of our World War II veterans lined up. One survived 7 kamikaze attacks on the USS Arizona. during the Pearl Harbor attack.
Wow.
And when we spoke, he had indicated to me, he says, I'll be happy to give you an account of what my feelings were.
Is he local?
But local, lives in the Pendle area.
Oh, wow.
What a terrific gentleman. Another World War II veteran from the Army brought a picture in of Douglas MacArthur, and there was a high military Japanese official saluting to him right after the surrender. And he was going to, he had indicated to me that he'd be more than happy to give his account of all of his experiences during World War II.
That'll make a great show and great information. I'm looking forward to seeing you get that started.
Through the eyes of a veteran.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just terrific. But the more that I can get out there and reach more of our citizens in every community and let them know what's available with our administrators, what you put in place in Bensalem and Bristol, all these townships. The more that I can reach out, if I can touch a few more people, then I'm doing my job,
yeah.
and it makes me feel good. My father,
yeah,
World War II veteran from the Normandy invasion, 17 years old, he found it incumbent upon himself to lead school
17
and serve with
years
his,
old.
serve with his three brothers. Yes.
I can't imagine.
And that's what this great country is all about.
Oh.
When there's a time to serve and to protect our country, we're here. And there's many of our citizens that serve and protect.
I just hope that
do it on a regular basis.
We don't lose that. We don't lose how
the patriotism.
Yes, how important our people before us have fought for this country. And gosh, I go way back. Lincoln's my favorite president.
Abraham Lincoln, sure.
And the more you read about Abe Lincoln and the more you understand about him, it brings all out the freedoms that we have. And I'll tell you, I often say, like when I see a veteran, I thank him. You see a veteran with a cap on.
Absolutely.
Or you say, you know, he's a veteran. Thank that veteran, that man or woman. Thank them for the darn freedoms that we have. You and I are, look at the lives we lead.
Look at the life.
You know, and
no matter how hard it may seem for people getting through their daily chores every day.
Especially now, you know, we're going through some tough times.
That's right. But look at these third world countries.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
I'm very happy to be and proud to know that I live in the best country.
Oh, without a doubt.
And a beautiful state and a beautiful county.
Without a doubt. My mom and dad came from Italy, and I'm first generation. They came when they were very young, 12 and 9 years old.
Oh my goodness.
They married here after they grew up here. But my dad, we were farmers, and my dad took this country. This was his country. He didn't, when they used to come up, relatives, they want to go back to the old country and all that, he would be the first one to say, ship out. And my father never went back to visit his homeland until he was 80 years old.
Amen. God bless
This
him.
was his country. And by the way, I get a little emotional, but by the way, when my dad was on that trip with my mom, they came back, and he landed in New York. He got on his knees and kissed this ground.
Oh my
that he
gosh.
got back to. And that's a true story. And so that just tells you how important the appreciation, and that was instilled in me.
Absolutely.
That was instilled in me.
As well as me.
And my God, are we wonderful. We got the greatest in the world. And the stuff that you're doing, that's what's going to continue to make us go, because we got to make sure that these men and women, the very people you're talking about, every one of them, that it's not just giving them a discount, it's showing the respect.
Showing the respect.
But you do that through many, many vehicles, and that's one of them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I really congratulate you on a great job, Tom.
Oh, thank
really,
you.
I mean that sincerely. And after we did the radio show, I said to Tom, come on, you got to go on my show.
Absolutely.
We got to tell everybody about
Sure, it's just terrific.
So,
and I continue to put together a coalition. If anyone's interested, if I could give my hotline number.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You can call me at 215-768-6505 for any information if you're a veteran, active military, police officer, firefighter, and our citizens, most importantly. Please give me a call so you can learn more about
that will be
doing.
on the screen, by the way, that number. So we will put that up so that they can see it.
That would be terrific.
Oh, absolutely.
The more that we can get the word out there. And I'm putting together a foundation that many of our legislators, both local as well as state, have already banned with me. along with many of our community and charitable organizations. It's called the Frontline Guardians Foundation. How terrific is that? Frontline, our military, and our guardians, our police, our fire, our emergency services. What I found, Joe, is as I'm going through different communities in Bucks as well as in Philadelphia, that there are some boroughs and some townships that they just don't have the financial needs, the budget that's required to help with some of the needs and equipment that our firefighters, our police officers need. Our veterans, there may be some veterans out there that are in need, whether it be from PSTD or whether it be medical or something, that they're just financially strapped a little bit. And this foundation is going to help them. And I found that some of our police and fire, I mean, some of them are volunteers. They're not doing it for the money, and they're paying for their uniforms, some of them. Not here in Bensalem, thank goodness, but there are some needs out there. And it made me think, and I brought some of our veterans and our members together with a radio program, and they thought that my idea was a good one, to put a foundation together so that we can help a little bit more, once again, that branch, to help a little bit.
The business community is a big part of this.
It sure is.
You need them.
You do need them.
As Toyota, I mean, is what
Correct.
they're doing where you work.
What Paul Muller's doing is fantastic.
Yeah, and so the business community needs to be involved. That's part of the team. It's got to be part of the team.
It sure is.
And they've proven with the program the county has with Joe Safran's going out that, you know, they'll get involved. So
And Joe's doing a great job, as you know, and he has a good staff. He always talks about teamwork as well, as you do. I've learned that from you, that you need a good team.
Yeah, nobody does anything by
to progress.
You can. I hope everybody understands that Sunday, the Super Bowl.
What do you like? Do you have a special team?
Yeah, I'd like to see Manning get it, and hope that he would retire if he wins it.
Yes.
With all the injuries.
Oh my goodness.
You know? So yeah, that's who I'd like to say. Although I like the other team too. Got a great young quarterback in Wilson.
Terrific balance there.
I would not be disappointed in the game.
Right.
But for Manning, I think it's if he could win it, and I would pray that he'd retire.
Oh, I would hope so, so that he doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that neck stuff. I mean, he had some serious operations.
And go green next year. Hopefully, we can see our Eagles.
Come on! Do you see even in the Pro Bowl, Foles and
the offensive
Jackson?
player of the day of the game?
Yeah, we're
being represented quite well.
We are. Well, I'm going to give you the last word.
Okay.
Talk about anything you'd like to talk about to the folks out there. And by the way, you'll be seeing all of our Bucks on Verizon here in Comcast.
Thank you. That's what's so important. Our social media, the technology we have today.
That's what it has to be to get you there.
That's right. The more that we can get this important service information out, and I'll end with this. I'm a very proud American. I was very, very proud of the years that I provided in the streets of Philadelphia as a Philadelphia police officer, and I recognize the values of this country. I recognize what's important in all the communities, and I want to bring that purpose together of cohesiveness and get the word out so that everyone knows how important our public servants are. And I'm going to continue with my radio program, and as I come on with the mayor here, I want to thank you again for bringing me on. My job, it's a quest. It will continue. I have a lot more to accomplish, and with your help, once again, and with the help of our administrators, just like my good friend Mayor DiGirolamo, we're going to be successful. We're going to make this place even a better country, and it's a fantastic country. Be proud of what you have, and remember that it's because of our active military, our veterans, our police, and our fire. They're the public servants, the people that at any time they're going to give up their lives to make life better for you and for me and for all of us here in this beautiful country, the United States of America.
Tom, I couldn't have said it any better. I don't think anybody could, but
thank you.
I thank you for being on here. Continued success.
Thank you.
And your continued success makes it better for all of our men and women, whether they be veterans, police, fire, EMS. We thank you for that. Keep up.
You're welcome.
Keep up that quest.
And I'm proud to be your friend because Sitting next to you, I know you echo the same
Well,
missions.
Enough about it. This is about you.
Okay.
And keep up the great work.
Thank you.
And God bless you. And good stuff.
And God bless America.
You better believe it.
Absolutely.
There's no place like it. Until next time, everybody, God bless.